Hello guys, welcome back to the channel Straight Vibes UK. Today we're gonna talk about D. Let's get straight into the video. D Mwango, right? And some of the comments, oh my gosh, some of the comments that I see that the bloggers are making about her. Okay, after you watch this video, you will probably never say some of the things about her again, like what you're saying, or like things like she's nasty, she's from the countryside in Kenya. Listen, I'm not from Kenya, yeah, but I have something in common with Dee Mwango, even if I'm an older person than her. I can see some, not everything, of my younger self in her. She like a lot of adventure. And Dee Mwango is not even silly. People are stupid. They're talking about the way that she dresses. She is just not the kind of blogger that would take all her Sunday best, her Sunday clothes, and come online, extra, for what reason? She's the kind of person that country life treaties you has taught her, teaches people, some people, to prioritize things. This is why sometimes I believe that she comes online in her home clothes, because some people have such clothes as Sunday clothes, weekly, go shopping clothes, church clothes, and stuff like that. And because she's from the countryside, that would have taught her a lot. Some people call her nasty. Some people say, look at her clothes. She cannot cook. After watching this video, you will never think the same about her because she comes from the countryside. I'm from a countryside village in the West Indies, and it's not much different in the days when I was growing up. Some have and some did not have and they have nots, right? I didn't come from my immediate family was not rich people. No, there was not. So anyway, coming from the countryside has taught us a lot of stuff. You do not wear your Sunday best, yeah, or your Saturday best, or whatever you call it, or your good clothes, just to come and blog, so long as your clothes is clean. Some people just do not do that. She is not obligated to wear all her nice things from her wardrobe and stuff like that, like some people do. If that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. But anyway, you might think that I'm sticking up for her, and yes, I am sticking up for her, even if she don't know me. I'm not doing it for anything. I'm just doing it because I think people should treat people the same way that they would like themselves to be treated, whether it's online. I know the gossip is a bit juicy and everybody is looking to, but some of it fake looking, for some little some notice and all of that online to get more views and stuff like that. But some of the things that people are saying about this young lady, I'm older than her, is very shameful. These are not things that you would like people to say to yourself or your family. Still, we have to still, even if it's online, treat people the same way that we would like to be treated, because it's not a robot on the end that is reading these things about herself. People saying that she's so nasty. She may not be the best cook and she may not always listen because she's young. But maybe the advice that you gives to her later on in life, she would check and read and appreciate, check back for these advices, because things remain in your subconscious mind. But it's the way some people are doing it. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. Some people go so far to say, oh, her house is nasty. She's just a nasty countryside girl. Countryside people are very clean. Where I came from, in the West Indies, we have to get up, make sure the house, all inside the house is clean, scrubbing your steps, sweeping the yard every day. That's how I grew up. Scrubbing the steps, going to the river, washing clothes. We even swim in rivers because it's an island. There's a lot of water. We swing on trees. We eat fruits. We wash clothes in the river. We wash our clothes, in the river until it's really clean, and you rinse it. Yeah. Sometimes you go to the river to wash. Sometimes people go to the river to bathe, because where we live, there was a lot of river. Where I live, for example, there was a lot of river. They had Munich River, they had Dig River, they had Bacolet River, they had On Top River, that's the name. They had Below River, and that's just Bamboo River. That's just to name a few, right? We were just blessed to have these natural resources, and we use them, yeah? When on certain times that these houses have to be spotless, don't matter how small, or that's countryside living, don't matter how small the house, don't matter how little or small, same as the large houses, these houses have to be cleaned. The steps have to be scrubbed. The surroundings have to be, sometimes before people goes to school, they have to get up and do the chores of cleaning the surroundings. In my village, countryside people were very clean people. And now I know that there was an old lady that used to pound something in a pestle, mortar and pestle. She used to be pounding something, and it gets, I think it was fufu. This generation has died off a long time ago. Well, I think that was what she was making, because I'm talking about an elderly person, and stuff like that. We do similar things, village life, river, swinging on trees, eating a lot of fruits like mangoes, damsel, golden apple. But we have to remember our chores, and we wash our knickers and panties, what you call knickers or whatever, your underwear, daily. We don't pack them up and put them aside, yeah, until as you take your bath, or as you go to bathe, you wash it at the same time. This is what we country people know. And in my countryside, people were clean. We eat from each other. The neighbors eat from each other, because we live similar, clean lives. So I don't know why people are saying that just because someone is from the country, from the countryside, listen, I haven't lived in the countryside for years. I've lived abroad in the city more years, yeah, and that must count for something, that I have lived in the countryside. But I know countryside living is very clean living. Even if the persons are poor, around the houses are clean, the children clothes are clean, their clothes are clean, their husbands, wives, everybody just walk clean. Yeah, you don't have to. Maybe this is why, because she's a country girl, that she don't want to take her Sunday best. Yeah, maybe she prioritize everything, her clothes, her way of living and stuff like that. They're bashing the way that she eats so much eggs. We always see her making breakfast most of the time. Maybe she fries fish as well, but we don't see that, because she do not show us like every aspect of her lives. Just something. So after this video, you will change your mind about hating her, bashing her, and you might end up liking her and thinking, oh, countryside living, that is a clean living for most people where I came from. And this is how I see some of the, I don't know, this is how I see countryside living, as clean living, fresh breeze, people sweeping their yard daily, people going to the river. Sometimes people washing they have taps and stuff, and they could wash at home. But seeing that there is so much water everywhere, people take advantage of these waters, these rivers and stuff like that. And this is how I see country life, healthy lifestyle, fresh breeze, friendly people that know each other's name. That means to say that it's good for your mindset as well. Right? So they say, oh, she's just a country girl. And country people goes to church with the Sunday clothes. They prioritize their clothes. Did you see how pretty she looked the day of her wedding? She's clever. She knows when to weigh her things that are nice things. Yeah, that's how I would call them. She knows when. Yeah, so she's not stupid. She's not the kind of blogger that want to come every day with a long flowing dress, accessories, a lot of eyelash. She was never that kind of person. She's brave because I watched her living in her tree house, and I don't see why you should. Why do you lot? Some of you dislike her. Why do you stay behind your computer and write things that you do not want people to say to you or your family? Why do you treat people the same way you would not like to be treated? You could react because you're a reactor, but it's not what you do. It's how you do it. Dee Mwango, I have never met her. I don't even know if she knows. I don't think she knows about my channel. I'm not too sure. Maybe she knows about one channel that I told her about. But I'm not doing this for anything, any reward. I'm doing this because some of you should treat people the same way you would like to be treated. You wouldn't like someone to come under your things and remember any things about your countries and write it, right? Because I'm not saying that so people could come for me. Just see what I'm saying. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. And remember, country life is clean and healthy living. Country school children have to get up, school children in the morning. And when I was growing up, some of them had to get up and clean their houses, clean their yards, do this and do that, like maybe even some people go to the garden before they go to school, and stuff like that. There's water everywhere in the countryside. Even if you have your taps at home or the neighbor have the taps, I'm talking about the things you call them the taps pipe or whatever, where water come from. There are so many rivers that you just want to go and wash your hair. When you wash your hair in the river, your hair is nice and soft. Honestly, guys, if you live in the countryside, wash your hair in the river, and your hair is never hard after you wash it. Like when you wash it sometime in the city, you have to put all kind of shampoo and decent things in your hair. When you wash it in the countryside, in the river, when you dry your hair, it's still even soft. I remember. And your hair seem to be growing. If you have growing hair, your hair seem to be growing. For those of you who like short hair, I'm talking about those who like to grow hair and stuff like that. Your hair always seems to be growing because you keep washing it in these rivers. These rivers are around you. So people use the resources that they have around them. So when you watch this video, you may never dislike D Moango again, But one thing, remember, she's not silly as you think she is. She knows exactly when to put her best, her Sunday best. Did you see how, as I said, did you see the day of her wedding? And did you see on sometimes other occasion, this little lady, right? That she knows how to dress. And I don't think she just want to come online, weighing the things, like all this kind of stuff. She's just not this kind of blogger. And she never come online looking dirty. They're even laughing at her hair and stuff like that, That's Fousey here for you, People don't always want to be in braids. What about when people are going through the menopause and they just get very hot flushes? Well, they would have to take off all this weave on. Some people take off all these braids. Some people and start itching. There would come a time, enjoy your weave on now, enjoy your braids, enjoy these things, because there will come a time when your head might feel like it's on fire. Thank God I've never really wore a lot of weave-ons and stuff. Braid, I used to braid my hair a lot, yeah, back then. But now, just around my birthday, I braid my hair like twice in the last 2 years. Twice. Around my birthday, I only left it for like not even 1 month. I took it off. Yep. I did. Anyway, bloggers, I know that you're doing your job, but it's not what you do, It's how you do it. Each one has to teach one here. We don't want to come across as, or you don't want to come across, even if we didn't mean to come across as a really, when somebody look at you, a nasty, vindictive, jealous person against others. Because we have been described as many things. Some call us like crabs in a barrel. We don't want to come across, or you don't want to come across like that, even if that's not what you mean. Sometimes that's what it looks like from someone looking on the outside. But I'm not doing this for anything. I'm not monetized. I have never been monetized. So I'm not doing it for, I'm not the sort of reactor. I would do reaction videos, but I would be very careful because I don't want any karma coming back to me. You know, you have to treat people the same way like you would like to be treated yourself, you know. Yeah, yes, guys. That's all I have to say at the moment. After watching this video, you may never dislike her. You might see how clever Dee Mwango is, how she prioritizes her clothes, because maybe that's the way she grew up. Maybe she don't see the need to put on so much nice extra flowing dresses just to come and have a talk with people. Yeah. People say, oh, you know, you're expecting, you see, don't look up to people. You have to look up to Jesus. Because I could tell you one story that happened to me recently. I went downstairs at the foot of the stairs. The weather was so bad. But just before I went down to the foot of the stairs, I realized there was something white. Like, I don't know how this toothpaste here got on my clothes. So I brushed it out with a sponge that was in the bathroom. And I thought, oh, it's gone. But when I reached at the foot of the stairs, I can see that it was, the mark was still there. And I had to make a decision. Yeah. The decision I usually would have made is to come back up and take it out. But I see the mark is there. And I just said, look, the weather is so bad. It's raining. I really need to get where I'm going. I really need. So what I did, I just turned it at the back, and I heard some, when I reached in a place where there were people, I turned back and I saw some young people, and they laughed. Then I realized sometimes people look up to people too much. Yeah, because I had to make a choice, either to come back, look for another thing to put on, or just keep going. It was a miserable day. I felt miserable as well, and I just felt, you know, those kind of days you feel you just have to go and get what you have to get, do what you have to do, and come back. And that was one time I follow my instincts. I didn't follow my instinct and come back and change as I would normally have done. I just had to go. I just couldn't come back. I just couldn't cope to come back. And that was the one, that is to tell you, people look up to people. Could people be, I think you lot are looking up to D Moango maybe too much. Don't look up to people. Look up to Jesus. Look up to God. God is the only perfect one. Jesus is the way to God. Yeah. Because speaking of the way that some people are displeased with the way that she dresses, they are displeased with the clothes that she is wearing. They are displeased with the way that her hair look. So people are maybe secretly looking for people to look up to. That's what I'm thinking. That's the kind of vibration I'm getting from some people's video. Maybe those that is criticizing her, if she was coming with long flowing Cinderella looking kind of clothes every time and some kind of all different extravagant thing, maybe they would like her. What a funny world we live in. That's true. Would, you know, like, yeah, that's all I have to say. Be kind to others and try to treat people the way you like to be treated. If you want to be left alone, leave people alone. If you want to be if you do not want to be treated unkindly, do not treat people unkindly. As I said, you all are reactors. It's not personal. Some people would say things like that, but then it sounds personal from other people that is looking. It sounds personal. It sounds sometimes like an attack. It sounds sometimes like You know, people always say about us, right? We have all kind of a label that we are crabs in a barrel, and you know, so sometimes it comes across like crabs in a barrel mentality. Even if I didn't want to believe in stuff like, you know, like crabs in a barrel mentality, but sometimes what it looks like is the way that people sometimes describe us people. Continue doing your reaction videos. I cannot tell you what to do, but I'm just doing some reaction as well. And that's why I choose to do the reaction videos. Okay? So, until then, thank you for listening. Don't come for me because I don't want YouTube to ban me from from social media. So let's respect each other. And as I said, it's not what you do, it's how you do it.